Hi guys. So in this section of the course we're actually going to start coding Roblox Lua. Now Roblox Lua is a scripting language that turns our Roblox places from nice Lego structures to fully fledged games. On the right hand side of our screen now we can see the workplace. The workplace contains all physical objects in our game, such as all these bricks here we see and all these people. So if we click on Dr. Letterman, he will appear in my workspace. Now, let's add a script into our workspace by right-clicking, Insert Object, we look for Script, and we click it. We see now that a script is generated for us with print hello world in it. For the meantime, let's get rid of hello world. First, let's talk about variables. A variable looks like this. A variable is essentially a box. Think of it like a box. We can put stuff into it to store it. So say for example, if we want the script to remember something about a thing or a person, we will use variables. For example, let's make this script remember my name, which is Kieran. So we will write local name equals Kieran in quotes. The reason this is in quotes here is because it's a word. A word in technical jargon for scripting is called a string. So we have to write strings with quote marks. We can also use numbers in our variables. So if we want this script to remember my age, we do local age equal 23. Now because this is a number, we do not need quote marks for it. And finally, if we want to store a yes or no, which is called a Boolean, we can go local happy equals true. So now the script knows I'm happy, it knows I'm 23 years of age, and it knows my name is Kieran. In Boolean variables, or true or false variables, true is essentially yes, and false is essentially no. So if we want to tell the script that Kieran is not happy, we will do local happy equals false. I want you to pause this video and make a few variables for yourself. Let's see how creative you can get with your variables, and let me know in the comments below what you come up with. The next thing we're going to touch on are conditions. A condition is a way to ask our script, or for the script to ask us, questions. The first condition we will look at is called an if statement. And they look like this. This is an empty if statement. So, let's make our code ask itself, is Kieran 23 years of age? So, we will go if, and in these brackets, we will put age equals 23. So, in an if statement, if the result of the equation in these brackets is true, the code contained in here will run. If it's not true, the code in here won't run. Over to a quick diagram. Conditions are a lot like questions in our code. If the answer to the question is yes or true, the code within our if statement will run. Otherwise, if the answer to the question is no or false, the code won't run. Now, let's get back to coding and practice the stuff we've learned. Before we continue, you're probably asking yourself, why is there two equal signs in this condition statement? The answer to that question is actually quite simple. In coding, when we use one equal statement on a variable, it sets the value. So if we want to tell the script my age is 23, we do age equals 23. However, if we want the script to evaluate or ask itself if the age is 23, we do age 2 equals 23. These here are called operators. We will learn more about operators in a later video. When two equal signs like this are used, they must exist in a condition statement. They will not work in the current standing here. So, our condition, if age equals 23, then we run code here. So, to demonstrate both operators, our equals and our double equals, we can say if age, if it is actually equals 23, we can set happy to yes. Now, at the start of the video, you've seen print hello world. This allows us to output a result from our script into our output window to our bottom left. Print is a function. Now in our next video we will go into functions in more detail. However, all you need to know is that whatever's inside these brackets will be output into your output window. We can see here that we have a string as delimited or shown by the quote marks. So this should say hello world in our output window. So I'm going to run this script.
Prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves. Prepare yourselves.
We can now see in the output window that hello world has appeared. If we stop our game and modify the script, if we modify this to goodbye world and run our game again, we will see goodbye world appear in our output window. What we can also do is go back to our script and say if we want to print a variable. We can print name. So if we run this again, what this should do is should print to our output window my name. You can see here that it worked. I'm going to go into variable naming in more detail now. The reason this print statement printed my name in the output is because the value between these brackets is the exact same as the name of this variable. If I click the value here, you can see the variable highlighting. Variable names need to be a single word. We cannot have spaces. So for example, if I make a local my space name equals Kieran, this will not work. And finally, on our if statement, we can put a thing called an else to make this an if else statement. So if the condition up here is false, or if the answer to the question we're asking the code is no, the code in our else section will run. So let's put a print statement in our else block saying Kieran is not 23. And let's do the same in our if block saying Kieran is 23. So if we run this now, we should find that the output will show Kieran is 23. If we stop our game again and modify our value and make me 24, this section here will print because this will no longer be true. The answer to this question will no longer be yes. To prove it, let's run our game and see the results. We can now see in the output box, Kieran is not 23. Thank you guys for watching the video. The topics covered today was how to create a script, variables, if-else statements, and printing values to the output window. If you would like me to go into more detail on any of these topics, just let me know in the comments below.